There is an exact moment a man decides he's into you, and I bet money you're picturing the wrong one. It's not the dress. It's not the clever line you rehearsed in the car on the way over. It's some throwaway half second you're never going to remember. You laughed at something genuinely stupid, the real laugh, the one you couldn't fake if you tried. And right there, something in him quietly tipped over. He's gone. And the kicker is he can't even tell you why either. He'll drive home swearing it was your smile or chemistry, and he'll be dead wrong. I've spent more than a dozen years of Monday mornings on video calls getting the real scoop on everybody's weekend. What he thought, what she thought, why somebody is or isn't going back for a second round. That's a second date in our world. And the thing that actually decides it is almost never what either of them would guess. It's a handful of tiny, nearly invisible things that happened in the first hour, things you did or didn't do without ever once feeling your own hands on the wheel. Which, is the good news, because it means the stuff you lie awake worrying about, that you're too this or that or old or you should have played it cooler, is almost never what actually cost you. You've been aiming at the wrong target this whole time. It comes down to 7 completely learnable things, the exact things that make a man lean in and not be able to say exactly why. So let me show you what he's really tracking while you've been busy worrying about all the wrong stuff. That sounds at all interesting or intriguing? I hope you'll stick around because that's what's on the agenda. By the way, there is an episode of this where I tell the guys what women are tracking. So you might want to check that out to see if I'm right on that side too.
Here's some real advice for your dating life. Coffee with Carey. Coffee with Carey.
The first one is completely free. And it might be the one women blow the most, which after all these years still drives me a little bit crazy. She walks in already smiling, not the tight little airport security smile everybody defaults to, but the real one, the one that says she's actually glad to be out of the house and sitting across from him. And then she does the most powerful thing on this whole list. She gets through the entire night without complaining about a single thing. How hot is that? You might not think that counts as a superpower, but trust me, it absolutely does. Because I've sat on the phone with the man from the other date, the one where the traffic was a nightmare and, oh God, don't even get me started on my ex, right? He never signed up for that. And she's not a bad person. She's just handing a total stranger her whole week like a piece of luggage and asking him to carry it. And ladies, I'll say it with love. Nobody has ever fallen in love while doing baggage handling. So let me give you something you can actually use, because just be positive is garbage advice, really. Nobody can follow that. For that first stretch of the night, the complaints stay in the car, right? The bad day, the thing your coworker said, it can all wait. And most of all, it can honestly wait forever. You're not faking sunshine and lollipops, and you're not being a phony. You're just choosing not to make a man you met an hour ago carry your Tuesday. It wasn't on my bingo card, but I went to prom 4 years in a row, starting in 1977. Ooh, look at my beautiful lime green dress. If you've also been dating since you were 14, or you're coming back after a long relationship, or you're just new to all of this, you know how exhausting it is. The swiping, the dates that go nowhere, the people who disappear, the same patterns showing up over and over again. It's not you. You definitely don't need to just put yourself out there one more time. Be Your Own Matchmaker isn't a pep talk. It's not dating advice. It's the exact step-by-step process that I've used as a professional matchmaker for years, and I'm now handing it over to you. I mean, I'm sure you still remember how to do the hustle. Now, learn the steps that actually matter. The link to my Masterclass is in the description down below. That's where you'll find it, and now we can head back to our episode. Do that, and you'll be the rarest thing at the table, the one he walks away from feeling lighter than when he actually showed up. He takes her in when she walks up, and somewhere in his head, a little scorecard lights up, A for effort, or a gold star. And my goodness, that is a beautiful pedicure. Now, those aren't the exact words going through his head, but that is what it means. She's made an effort, and she made it for him. It's not, is she a 10? It's a lot more simple than that. She clearly gave this evening some thought before she walked out her door. And that lands because he knows exactly what the opposite looks like. Everybody's had the date with the woman who showed up like she rolled off the couch and did him a favor by locating pants. The whole, well, here I am, impress me kind of energy that is such a turnoff, you know? And I'll tell you something that might surprise you. I've watched men fall for the woman who was nowhere near the prettiest one there and stroll right past the knockout over and over again for the same reason every time. The knockout acted like her face was doing all the work, so she didn't have to do any. And it was never about being the most beautiful. It was about giving a damn. So this is where women set themselves on fire. Making an effort doesn't mean being 25 or anywhere near perfect. It just means it was on purpose. It's the difference between a woman who threw something on and a woman who chose. The lipstick she loves, the top that makes her feel like herself on a good day, and a man can feel that difference even when he certainly couldn't name it. Now, this next one, women get exactly backwards. She's curious about him, and it's real. Not the performance of curiosity, but the actual article. She's not running the standard first date interrogation, and you definitely know the one. So what do? Where did you grow up? Rat-a-tat, like she's processing him at the DMV? No, she lets the conversation take her somewhere. He says something, and instead of loading up her next scripted question, she grabs the interesting thread and pulls. Wait, you walked away from the whole career? What happened there? And you have to understand what that does to a man. Because the sad little secret of modern dating is that most of his dates feel like a job interview where he's the only one being graded. Therefore, a woman who's genuinely curious about him and makes him feel interesting instead of like he's being evaluated is handing him something that he practically never gets. And the move that takes her from nice to, my gosh, I can't even stop thinking about her, is this. When it's her turn, she's not a blank wall. She's got a story of her own that's worth telling, and it usually ties right back to something he just said, so it feels like a real conversation instead of two strangers politely taking turns waiting to talk. You already know the alternative because you've probably been stuck across from her, the woman who answers everything in 3 words and then stares at you to do all the work. He spends that whole night pushing a stalled car up a hill all by himself, and I promise you, he is not signing up for the sequel. So that's the whole skill, and it's totally learnable. Pull his thread, then hand him one of yours. Be more interested than impressive, and ask real follow-up questions, and then tell him the thing his story reminded you of. Do that, and you'll be the best conversation he's probably had all week. She laughs easily, and it's natural, and it's real, and let me take the pressure off you right now because women here be fun and then they panic. You do not have to be a stand-up comedian. That is not the job we're talking about. Your job is to be a great audience. When he takes a little swing at a joke, you meet it instead of leaving it hanging in the air to die alone. That's all. You're not faking anything. Because every time a man cracks a joke on a first date, he's taking a little risk, putting a little piece of himself out there on the table to see what you or she are going to do with it. The woman who laughs, who teases him a little bit and then tosses it back at him is telling him something that his whole nervous system is listening for. This is a safe space. This is fun. I like you. And that is pure catnip. A man will chase the feeling of making a woman laugh for the rest of his natural life. I've had a man spend 10 solid minutes describing a woman's laugh to me and never once get around to telling me what she actually looked like. I think this is number 5. He planned the evening. He picked the place. He took care of the check, and she doesn't receive a single bit of it like it was owed to her. She says a sincere thank you, and she means it. She lets him see that his effort landed. And this is so much bigger than manners. A man will run through a brick wall for a woman who makes him feel like his effort mattered. Most men move through life feeling about as appreciated as the furnace in the basement. Kind of completely taken for granted until the day it breaks. Gratitude can make a guy, or any person, feel 10 feet tall, and he will tie that feeling directly to you, and that matters. All right, let me tell you something that not only I learned watching this for a lot of years, but I think people recognize this, and it doesn't go just one way. It does go both ways, but women get called out for it a lot more often. And that is that a lot of women come to this first date a little bit at war. Not on purpose, life does that to us. A few bad guys, a bad marriage that fell apart, and, a wall goes up. Show that you're not like the rest of them. A man feels that wall the second he sits down, even if he can't tell you, hey, there's a wall up here. The woman who stops a man in his tracks is the one who, after everything she's been through, still genuinely likes men. She's not testing, not lying in wait for the slip-up that proves she was right all along. She walks in rooting for him to win instead of auditioning him. And a man can feel the difference in about 5 minutes flat. It's the difference between walking into sunshine and walking into an interrogation or a trap. Because guys are just so used to being treated like a problem to be managed that the women who clearly like them and their humor and their effort, the whole package, she becomes magnetic before she's even done a single thing. The second you notice yourself gathering evidence on a date, you got to catch yourself, put the pen down, the mental pen. You don't have to trust him yet. You just have to stop prosecuting this man for crimes that the last one committed. Liking men out loud and without apology isn't naive and it isn't desperate. It's the single most disarming thing a woman can walk through the door with. And then number 7, the last one, runs the deepest, I would say, because it decides everything. She's got a full, great life, and she's not looking for somebody to come along and fill a hole. She's got people that she loves already, and a Saturday that was already, pretty good. So when she talks about her life, it sounds like a life, not a waiting room with his name on the chair. You can hear it in the way that she talks. The girlfriends she's seeing on Thursday, the little balcony garden that she's, so proud of. None of it trotted out to impress a guy. All of it is just proof of a woman who has so far built something good with her own 2 hands long before a man turned up. It doesn't mean she's not looking to add a man to her life. I've seen too many men think, oh, she doesn't need a guy. That's not what this says. But it does change everything about how a man experiences her. Because a guy can feel almost instantly the difference between a woman who wants him and a woman who needs him, right? One who needs him is handing him a job, fix my loneliness. And that typically lands on a person like a weight. The one who wants a man in her life is already good. And I think it would be even better with you in it is kind of the message. Nobody wants to be somebody's missing puzzle piece. And every man on earth wants to be chosen by a woman who didn't have to choose him. Let me leave you with this thing sitting underneath all 7. Notice what none of these are. They're not about being a knockout. They're not about playing some game where you go quiet and make him chase you. Every single one is about what you carry into the room and how you make a guy feel once he's in it with you. Lighter, more like a man who's winning. Some women get told that men are shallow, that it all comes down to how you look. And I'm telling you, after all these years and all those calls, that the woman who walks out with the man the whole room wanted is almost never the most beautiful one there. She's the warmest. She was easy to be with, and she was clearly already happy in her own life. Every one of these is a choice you can make before you so much as walk through the door. You don't have to become somebody else. You just have to bring the warmth you've already got and let him see it. Do that and you won't be competing with a room, The room will be competing with you. All right, I hope you found that interesting or helpful. If you did, you might want to check out this episode that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Before you go, if you could give my mother, that's my mom, give her the thumbs up she's asking, that would be lovely. You want to subscribe so you can find your way back again easily, that would be good also. And I'll look forward to seeing you back here soon. Until next time, have a good one.